Listen, I don't know about you, but I started a business so I could do this. Travel, be with friends, be with family, create memories. I didn't do it to sit at the computer all day. I didn't do it so that I could just be in countless emails and Zoom meetings. I did it to create opportunities for myself and opportunities for others. So listen, if that's something that interests you, enjoying time with your friends, being out and about, definitely drop by Erica Williams' Classy Climb blog. Check out the YouTube channel. We've got over 2,000 videos of free information that's actually changed people's lives. People actually post their new jobs, their new careers, their new businesses all the time over at the channel.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I know many of you are like, 2 in 1 day. Yes, 2 in 1 day. So let's finish this out because we are going traveling for the rest of the weekend. We have lovely events. So let's get into it. Oh, this might not be the other one. Let me double check. That should be it. Let me see. Nope. Okay. I think I have it. Drop a one in the comments if you can hear me, see me. Let me know. Let me see what I can get straight on here. It's tripping. All right, you guys, this is your girl Erica Blog. This is the second show for the day. And again, it's like don't leave money on the ground. I have to oh, let me unblock my face. That might help, right? So as you can see here, this is the event for tomorrow. Well, Saturday, October 25th event. We still have 5 seats left on the bus. You can grab them, ebook catalog, and the confidence class, confidence challenge. Why did I put that in there? A lot of people are struggling with confidence, being confident in themselves, being able to take a chance on themselves, being able to grow their ideal, be able to speak their mind. I experienced that with my own family. I mean, I will literally make helpful suggestions and people are like, well, worry about yourself. Be like, man, I just said pick the corner, the trash can up off the corner, man. That's all I said. So you have to understand, you have to go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. You have to speak life into people who are willing to listen. Okay. So more layoffs, take your buyout and pay off bad debt. A lot of people are going to be in the path of getting laid off coming up here soon. They just are, right? It's coming down the pipeline for a lot of people, and that's because of choices, jobs, companies. I saw this earlier, and I just want to share it because it had me cracking up. I've got a lot of videos. I only got a few open on the screen at the second, but let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, here we go. This is comical to me. Comical.
About 12, 13.
Hell no, G. They started me off at 17.
17! Fuck!
I'm down, OG. You mad about a little 17?
I'll beat your goddamn ass in this plane, nephew. I'll beat the sleeves off your ass in this bitch.
Damn, man, chill. Where your clothes go?
Nephew, I've been working here 40 goddamn years. You try to tell me you make 16 cents less than me? Hell no, man. How long you been working here, young cat?
Shit, about goddamn 2 days.
Where they start you off at? About 12, 13.
Hell no, G. They started me off at 17.
17! Fuck!
I'm down, OG. You mad about a little 17?
I'll beat your goddamn ass in this plane, nephew. I'll beat the sleeves off your ass in this bitch.
Damn, man, chill. Where your clothes go?
Nephew, I've been working here 40 goddamn years. You try to tell me you make 16 cents less than me?
All right. So the comments are what is hilarious. It's like the comments are, I've worked so many places and that's happened to me. Y'all, I told you I went and worked at this one place while I was in between jobs, and the girls that were there was like, Erica, you too smart to be in here. Won't you go get in an office somewhere? And I was just literally a waitress, y'all. And I was like, this is crazy. And I remember the older waitress who was like in her 60s was like, let me tell you something, honey. I take my little money, and this is where this comes from. $27 a day for a year puts $10K in your bank. And that was the waitresses. When I was delivering pizzas at Papa John's, almost every person in there had bought a house. Okay. And And it wasn't until a banker who had lost his job came in and delivered pizzas with everybody that he just told them the game. Hey, you need to get y'all paperwork together. Y'all need to be accounting for these tips y'all getting. Y'all need to do A, B, and C, and y'all can buy a house. Now, he was working his way back to being in the banking industry via mortgage broker. He had to take his test. But I want y'all to understand, this is what's happening. You're running into offices and spaces with people that's been there so long. Again, people in the video in the comments keep saying, if you've been somewhere 5 years and you you ain't got no raise, it's time to go. If you ain't over $20 an hour and you've been there 20 years, look, it's time to go. Now, some people gonna say, Erica, people have financial hardships. People have people they got to take care of, kids, family. And if you have kids, and if you have a spouse, and if you have parents, okay, you need to be thinking long term. You need to be advocating for yourself. I promise you, so many people are like, won't you just be humble? And what they're really saying is, you're making me uncomfortable with how big you're thinking. I need you to bring it down to my level. No thanks. That's why when I say, when these young men go to these offices and they're not playing with these older people, they're not playing with them. It's like a giant high school. They never grew up. They're over there, pushing forklifts around at 50 something years old. I'm not even trying to play with y'all. I went to one warehouse and it was nothing but 50 plus year old people in there. And I was like, ain't y'all backs hurt? Ain't y'all backs hurt? Anyway, let me get out of there. Let me step out of that. I have several clips for you. Because I think y'all are missing there's money on the ground. So it's going to go back and forth between silly and serious. So here we go. I think it's going to copyright strike me.
Does it better?
Yeah, it's going to copyright strike me. Let me just play it. While that's playing, I'm going to get y'all set up with the next one. Okay, boom. All right. So many people say, Erica, lately you've been talking a lot about health services and elderly. Why you keep bringing this up? And I'm saying this with the nicest way I can say it. Who's usually on the front line, working in, serving in, feeding in, taking care of the elderly at these homes and these places that you see? Feel free to comment. Who's the number one person you're going to see other than a Filipino nurse at these rest homes, at the food cafeteria, in the back, the CNAs, the traveling CNAs that make good money, right? And who is the people? It's gonna be 9 times out of 10 some black ladies and some Mexican ladies too. Now I ain't gonna try to act like they don't be there too, but what's happening is these places, they don't have enough beds. Caribbean women, noted, Rob, they be in there too, trying to get the old ladies to drink ginger teas and stuff. Older black ladies, black people, women, yeah, African women, a brother. There's always a brother mopping the floors. There's always a brother pushing when they can't lift somebody out the bed. Oh, go call Jerome to come in the back and lift him up. Go call Rob D to come in the back and lift this big man up. This man too big for me to lift. I can't lift him without the machine. Trust me. That's who's working there. So you already know these places are going to be overwhelmed. There's certain cities and states that are well. How hard would it be for you to go rent a 4 or 5 bedroom house? Not an expensive house, but when you got all these houses on the market via Airbnb, via can't get sold, rent that house out for $2-3 grand a month. You got how, you know what I'm saying? You getting 5, two to a room. Okay, whatever, however you want to say it, 4 to 10 residents in a house. You hire a few friends. Y'all was getting paid $12 an hour. Now y'all can pay yourselves $20 an hour, right? And that resident is paying that. 6 residents is $27 a month. 10 residents, $45,000 a month, right? Now you're gonna say, well, Erica, you gotta pay people. People got to be there around the clock. I promise you, majority of this stuff is feeding the people and making sure they take their medication. I ain't trying to be disrespectful because I know it's a hard job. You shouldn't do it for the money. You should do it because you care. But there's so many black people that do it and they do it because they care and ain't getting paid. There, come on, Gee, tell them where her mom was. It was $500 a day. Do you feel you got your $500 worth? You know what I'm saying? Most people are not going to get their $500 a day worth. They're not. So what's going to happen is, I see in the next 2 to 3 years, a lot of this Airbnb, leftover empty housing. I'm seeing real big houses rent for real low. And Yeah. And again, you're going to see a lot more of this because these people do not have 20 grand a month to drop on grandma. They do not have 10 grand a month. Between Social Security and Medicaid, Medicare, it's going to pay for these places. Your mom's going to get a meal. The lady that owned the building going to be like, oh, it's Miss Patrice. Come on in. Whatever, right? Like, it's going to be these in between size places. And I just want that to be fully acknowledged because there's money all over the ground. It depends on if you want to pick it up. This one right here, earlier I want to put it with the video with the kids, but I'll play it here because it still applies.
Learning how to fight through adversity in sport no more, because when they don't play, their mama or their daddy take them off the team and go start another team so they can play. So they don't tell them work harder.
The amount of
That is
games
real.
this summer where parents was trying to fight the referee,
Yeah,
fight the coach, to the point like they literally have
gambling.
security
they gambling.
at these games.
They gambling.
It was a parent who, after the game, security literally had to come and hold this man back. He was cussing out the coach because he was saying, "I pay all this effing money for my son to play on this team."
But it's like, why y'all think the money gonna do something? Like y'all letting people jack you and then you get mad as a parent. Hit me out. Basketball. I can't speak on other sport. If you paying that type of money, my child not playing on a team with more than 8 players if I'm paying that type of money. He not because if you got 15 players and they all paying it, you can't play 15. Like, kids not learning how to fight through adversity in sport.
So this is Rich Lessons. Again, every day you're going to see new podcasts from new young people, and I love that for them. Because I want y'all to understand as clearly as I can say this, as many times as I can say this, I will keep preaching this. I preached this for years. Now a bunch of people on YouTube with me, and I laugh because I'm like, yeah, I was right back then, right? Okay, cool. You got people here on the internet who will make $150,000 to $350,000 a year. They would have never made it in corporate. They would have never even made it in the military. They wouldn't even made it at the government job. They wouldn't have made it at the VA. They would have never made that in their adult life. So this is where they get their opportunity to shine, which is online. And this is where it clouds a lot of people's heads, right? And a lot of y'all be like, people grifting. And I want to laugh when I hear that. I'm like, these people are spending, and I'm not exaggerating. I know a few people spending 10 hours a day going back and forth, editing things, fixing things. Their family's upset, but this is the only place their husband would have made $100K. They got a whole husband. He online talking about women's. She knows she embarrassed, but this is the only place their husband would have made $100K. There are 3 or 4 people who I had to mentor. Not that I had to, but they paid for it. And they were making $3,000 a month off YouTube, Google AdSense. And they were like, Erica, we know it won't last. What do we do? And I'm like, take a deep breath. Like, you're getting 36 a year out of just that, right? Okay, what else do you want to do? What else do you have skills in? How can you turn this to an ebook? How can you turn this to a digital course? How can you do it on the digital side? And a lot of them were not ready. They just were excited to get this $3,000. I don't think y'all understand. A lot of people were not getting paid well. They're charismatic, but they never said, let me go get some certification. Let me go change some of the ways I'm thinking. All right. Families also don't have room for the elderly. That's true. And this is where all the mother-in-law suites, if you go to anywhere in Dallas, Texas, I promise y'all, any suburb in Dallas, Texas, 9 times out of 10, the new housing has a mother-in-law suite. That's part of most people's moving is the ADU apartment, the mother-in-law suite. A lot of the orders my friend who does pods in Dallas does is putting a office shed, and I'm going to call them out. It's an office shed, but the people's parents is living in there. So now your mama, who's in her 80s, got to come out of the office shed that's meant for office, a little AC unit, little kitchen, but not really, no bathroom, and come in the house and use the bathroom. That's crazy. In their 80s. I'm telling y'all, people weren't ready. People weren't ready during the pandemic. People really weren't ready for work from home if they're not a structured person. We lacking grit and diversity out here, y'all. Let me show you this one. Because Americans who live in other countries like, yeah, we made all this money. But how? Why? Investing in real estate. Here you go. Put his audio on. That might help for y'all to hear it.
you and your wife able to afford quitting your job, selling all your stuff, and moving to Albania? I got an answer for you, but you're not going to like it. Cheers. So here it is. Look, thanks for watching. Like and follow for more. In all seriousness, it's not a straightforward answer. It's 25 years of decisions that people told me were bad. I can go back all the way to high school when I dropped out at 16, deciding not to go to college, pursuing a career in the music industry, becoming a gigging drummer, renovating our own house to save money, selling that house and all of our stuff so we could live in an RV, the investment strategies that we used with some of that profit, starting my own band. All of these decisions, people told me these were bad ideas and I shouldn't do it. I've been hearing that my entire life. But I'll tell you what, I never needed a diploma. I never needed a college degree. I also avoided student loans. I enjoyed every single day, even the hard ones that I worked, because I love my field so much. I have a lifetime of memories of performing that I wouldn't trade for the world. Living in an RV sucked, but I also learned a lot about minimalism going through that. I learned what I really need in order to live and be happy. Flipping our house gave us the funds to implement the investment strategies. Many of those investments we still own and we're benefiting from today. They're helping to provide for our living here currently. The band that I started grew into a business that supported a lot of people. At its height, there were 9 people on the payroll, and I ended up selling that band to a bigger company, and that money that I got from selling the band went to a 20% down payment on the house that we bought in 2021, which we then sold for a profit, and that profit went to purchasing the apartment that we currently own in Albania, debt-free. Now, this isn't to brag. I'm not making this video so I can talk about how awesome I am. That's not why I'm here. It's definitely not advice. I'm not telling anybody what they ought to do. And most of the things that I did aren't even options for people anymore. I completely acknowledge how much of my success has been luck. It's due to privilege. I understand that. I don't disagree with it. I'm constantly shocked and thankful for my success. Every person like me that you see on Instagram talking about how awesome their lives are, there are 1,000 people that try to live like me that fail, and you don't hear about it because they don't make Instagram videos. And if they do, nobody watches them because people don't want to hear about how you failed. It's survivorship bias. This is just some insight into my experience. If somebody can get something useful out of it, even if it's just entertainment, that's awesome. Now people are hating on me because I started an Instagram. Let me tell you something. 2 months ago, I had 150 followers. Last month, I had 300. I'll be surprised if I don't break 5,000 by the end of the week. You don't know if you're going to fail until you try. Do what you want. Don't mind the haters. Like and follow for more. Question I keep getting in the
Okay, so again, this is Adam in Albania. If you know anything about Albania, it's very Muslim. I'm gonna leave that alone. We feel so safe here. I'll be like, okay, don't let them kidnap your wife. All right, so long story short, you can look up his stuff here. Again, this is no hate, no hate on this, but I want you to understand the key parts of his story is 2 different times he bought a house. First house, sold all everything out the house, sold everything. The money from the house, and y'all keep fighting me on this, the money from the house funded them getting what? An RV and him able to start another band. Okay. Then when he sold that band for 20% to somebody else buying a music group and the staff and who knows what else, he had enough money to buy another house. And he bought it in when? 2021. Now you're gonna say people who bought houses in 2020, they made all this money. No, people who bought houses in 2019 made all the money, but that's another conversation. So he sold that house for a profit. Again, I can show you about 10 Instagrammer stories where they sold a house and that was their wealth journey. But so many people say, oh, they must have a parent, they must have inheritance from grandparents. No, it's called buying a house. The biggest funniest thing I'm seeing online is all these people anti-house. It's too expensive. No, you know what's too expensive? You're in your 30s, 40s, and 50s trying to buy the most expensive house. It's called a starter home. It's called a neighborhood you might not want to stay in. It's called a working class neighborhood because guess what? You're working class. Until you can get there and figure out, okay, and I had 2 friends who moved to bought houses. They worked as hard as they could for 2 years. They bought a house. Guess what? Immediately changed jobs to something more relaxing and something they could do remote. And it was just enough to pay their mortgage and just enough, like very minimalist. But they did what they needed to do for 2 years to get the house. And that's what people were fighting you daily for. I have family members who have inherited stuff and they ain't taking care of it because you ain't put no skin into it. You know, when you get something for free or somebody gifts you something, they give you all this land, they give you houses, they give you rental properties. You're not going to love it and respect it and appreciate it because you didn't put any skin in it. He respects this journey because he was able to do what? Hey, baby, we got enough money to put some more money in the stock market because the stock market is jumping. This is why you need to be reading. because there's money all over the ground. I wrote in my notes, you got stocks, you got digital game, which is Instagram, YouTube, courses, products, community, coaching. Y'all know what I'm saying. The 4 C's everybody hates. Offline money is more middleman to millions. What I'm teaching you guys about. You can film yourself having a service field. You can film yourself, you know, I'll teach a little bit more of that in another class. But essentially, when you see these people with these videos, it's really just to try to get you into their groups. They want to get in their groups. They want you to get in their group coaching. They want you to get, and there's nothing wrong with that. Anton Daniels, I was trying to show the video earlier. Anton was talking about how somebody made 35 million off YouTube, off Twitch or something, where they were watching him play video games. And then also another person had made 150,000 for the first time in their life on YouTube. The consultant girl I'm always bringing up on the show, she made 250,000 off YouTube. So, you know, immediately, like, why should I keep my 200,000 a year consulting job, 150 consulting job, when I make more off YouTube? And the coaching calls I do there, I choose to do, right? There's so much I want to say, but I'm gonna keep it pushing. Let me keep it rolling. Here you go. Let's look at this one right here. Again, this is, I keep telling y'all out here running around making babies with whoever, you don't understand. They're not treating the kids right. But here you go. I told y'all my uncle had a boy get dropped off at the group home that was 8 years old because the mom said he was rebellious and went, listen, it's silly out here.
Any questions, and I was basically stirring the pot. And then finally there was one day where she just like had enough, called my grandma, was like, if you don't come pick this kid up, I'm gonna send him to foster care. I remember like looking out the back seat of my grandma's car at my mom's house and just like my hands on the window, just like bawling my eyes out. From that point on, I lived with my grandma. And so I like fucking hated women for years because of that. And it's not like I intentionally hated women, but I was so fucking mad at my mom. And I think when you have unresolved trauma with your mom and you're fucking angry with your mom, you have unresolved trauma with feminine energy. Like your mom is the first female that you see when you come into this world. And so if you hate the first female that you see when you come into this world, how do you think you're going to treat other females in the world if your core person that you're supposed to love the most, you have a negative relationship with? So I just sabotaged every relationship in my life because of that. Harboring anger towards someone else is only a poison that affects you. Where I'm at right now with my mom, I've forgiven her in the sense that for me to hate her is like me hoping that my anger affects her, but it's just like this fucking poison that just eats me alive. Any good relationship that I had where I was like, it was going so good, I would break up with them or I'd sabotage it. When I was 8 years old, my mom kicked me out of my house. I asked too many questions and I was basically...
All right, let's go there. His mom was a white lady who had older white children. She slept with a black man and got him, and they're in that concept. Let's just go there. She had 4 different stepfathers by the time he was 8 years old. So what? And his mom was white. Let's go there for the record. So this man was mad at his mom, who a white lady with multiple men coming in and out of her house. You can call her what you want in the commentary. That's on y'all. But he's still mad at women, and his grandma, the one who raised him from 8 years old to 18. And then went and married a white woman. I want y'all to understand, these are the people that are coming online so angry and bitter and disgruntled. It's not till he had a wife and then he had a daughter. Now he's like, oh, I'm getting therapy. Sir, you should have been got therapy. He didn't realize he was black till he was in elementary school. That tells you everything you need to know about this white woman who had this man. I'm just going to go there. People are not being raised. They're not. I treated my son real good. No incel tendencies at all. I'm just telling y'all, this is how it starts right here. Y'all going around knocking up loose women, loose white women at that. And now his whole anger, his whole persona is these women's is terrible. Okay. If you go look at his page, look at the hairstyle. You have a black dad. Look at that hairstyle. I just want to say one more time. You have a black dad. You are blow drying your hair to do that. I just want you to look at the hair. He's blow drying the hair. Why? Your hair is curly. Why are you? Oh God. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. This is the people you be online arguing with. I don't think y'all understand. This man has 448,000 followers. This is why I tell y'all, everybody wants to, if it looks good, then it's all good. Does it look good? There's about 15 black dudes. I'm calling them black because if he walks down the street, I'd be like, hey, brother, and I'd slide to the left. Get out of his way quick. There are 15 dudes with the same exact story. Black boys that are grown men now saying my white mom treated me bad. She cussed at me. She called me the N-word. She treated me horrible. But they tell you about Keisha all day. Y'all see what's up? Eric, why you gotta bring it? Why it's gotta be about the women's? Don't talk about the white women, Erica. Don't do it. Because I want you to understand, you know, you're dealing with broken people out here. And he's with a white woman that looked loose. She looked loose. She's covered in tats, looking loose. God bless you. God bless you. Good luck, sir. I hope that therapy working. So anyway, again, I just wanted to remind y'all, when people look good, people overlook a lot of the terrible rhetoric they say and violent things they say. Okay. Again, kids, get your skills up. The average pilot is retired at a certain age, and they let you go crazy overtime, which is dangerous, but let's go there.
Damn, $1 million a year. So out of all the airlines, which airlines pay the best if you're a pilot?
Delta's kind of been the number one. They have high pay scale and they also have high profit sharing. I know a bunch of 25-year-olds that are making so much money right now. Starting pay is like $130,000, just your base. They're just timed it right. So there's so many retirements. I think every major airline, Delta, United, American, they're retiring 1,000 pilots a year. I mean, American's been hiring somewhere around 2,000 pilots for the last 3.5, 4 years that I know of.
And how many days off are you holding a month, making $1 million a year?
I know my dad wasn't doing quite $1 million. He was crushing it playing the game, and he had a couple months that were like triple a normal salary pay. And he said, I still got half the month off. It's because he was so fine-tuned into the system of trips, kind of always watching it. No, ooh, this one's going to double pay. If you could get paid the same to go fly for 30 minutes or 10 hours, which one would you want? He'd be like, oh, if I fly to Phoenix, I would stay the night, but then I could waive it and come back to San Diego and get 4 days of pay for one 30-minute flight or an hour of flight.
How long would it take them to become a pilot and get hired for a company like Delta?
Pretty much a couple of years right now. If you quit your job and you dedicated 6 days a week to training to be a pilot, you could get through all your licenses within a year. And then after that, you got to build hours. And then you would get on with a regional like SkyWest or Compass or one of the smaller regional airlines. So if you want to work the crappy shift and the weekends, you're making 300 grand pretty quick with having a lot of days off. I know guys making close to $1 million a year as a captain working the system.
So how much could you make flying right seat for Delta or one of these majors?
600 to 700,000
as a co-pilot.
As a co-pilot,
damn, $1 million a year. So out of all the airlines, which
Now, let me go and tell you, them numbers is off. Some numbers is off. Look, some of y'all going back and forth in comments. I said what I said. When you are hurt and you're starting to get therapy and you start dating people, you may get with somebody who is at your level currently. The best thing for me to recommend for everybody is if you're in that situation and you're changing, hopefully they're changing or you're getting them some therapy. A lot of y'all was like, he need a Keisha. No, he don't need a Keisha. He don't need a Keisha, because if Keisha do him wrong, then he gonna be on the internet. Women my whole life have done me wrong. White women, Asian women, white women, black women, everybody. He gonna even say Indian women did him wrong. He ain't did it, none of them. Okay. I want people to be careful out here. You can't like getting knocked up by brothers, and then when you have a brother, be like, I gotta get this kid out of here. He's worrisome. You know what I'm saying? Being a Coach Greg crying, she's taking all my money. I'm going to Las Vegas. I'm leaving. Coach Greg was telling you before all this that he was going to move all over the world and travel in Colombia. And that white woman got him up in court, and he's like, I live in Las Vegas now. Let me just get out of there. But the pilot thing, why is this important? Because when they turn 65, they have to be retired. So you have this, and it's actually before that, but there's another conversation with that. The person who was teaching me how to fly in Georgetown, Texas, he had a minor heart attack. They took away his ability to fly. This man's 50. What are you going to do for the next 15, 20 years? So now he's like, well, I teach the flight part of the class. I can't go up in the air no more. And then he's just trying to figure out life. So these pilots sometimes go hard, right, to get as much money as possible, overfly, overtime, overwork, pick up all these shifts. And it's not healthy for one. And for two, if you see the health rates of a lot of these pilots, it's kind of wow. but it's the weird sleeping schedules. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of it's radiation on the plane too. I could go in a rabbit hole about the radiation, but we're gonna get out of there. I'm gonna step out of there because y'all gonna be like, Erica, I was talking about planes and radiation. And I'm getting on a plane tomorrow, so it's not like, you know, I'm letting it stop me, at this point. I have so many videos. Okay, here's another one. Let's do this one right here. I like this one. I like this guy. I'm gonna be nice, y'all. I love that there's African people who watch me on this channel. What's up? We have no problems. We got some Africans showing us around Houston when we get there. I don't have no problems with Africans. I'm just saying the accents get y'all some money. If y'all really want to make some money digitally, come out here with the accent. That's all I'm saying.
A mystery. Your struggles, vulnerabilities, your battles. Keep it a mystery. Get the relationship of your dreams, but keep it a mystery. Don't broadcast your plans, your goals, your victories before they are realized. Keep them to yourself. People don't want what's best for you. They only want what's best for you until you get what's best for yourself. Keep it a mystery. Your struggles, vulnerabilities, your battles. Keep it a mystery. Get the relationship of your dreams, but keep it a mystery. Don't broadcast your plans, your goals, your victories.
So I'm gonna tell you this. If you're at work, somebody said I can't do the accent, it'd be strong. I'm gonna get out of there. My point is it works, and he knows what visuals work. He's changing his outfit every time he dresses in a suit, then he does the African garb, then he goes back to a suit. He knows what he's doing. Okay, now let me just tell you this. If you are in a workplace where people are being nosy, yeah, keep it to yourself. A lot of people have a high school mentality in some of these workplaces. Keep that stuff to yourself. I have a vision board. I have calendars and planners. I'll be writing down, okay, we're gonna do this on this day. We're gonna do this in the future. We're gonna do this. And I don't even tell people. Sometimes I don't get to do what I want. Sometimes I don't get to have what I want. Sometimes stuff don't happen in the time frame I think it should happen. Right. And people, I was like, Erica, why are you rushing? Why are you pushing? Why are you pushing so hard? I had a father had a heart attack in his late 40s. He didn't make it to 50. Really, it's his early 40s, but he didn't make it to 50. So when I sit here and tell people, I'm like, I know people who went out of here. I had a friend get married, and less than 90 days later, she died in a car accident. She just fell asleep and ran off the car flipped. And she just got married, and she was like, I'm gonna stay at my job 2 more months so they can train another person, and then I'm gonna move in with my husband. I don't care what that job talking about. When my friend died, the first thing I thought is, if I get married and we living in separate cities, I'll go to wherever you are. Whatever I got ain't that important going on. I can go on with my life. So I've seen people plan a beautiful life and never get to live it. So when people ask me, what's the rush? That's the rush. Because before you know it, you'll look up, and I'm no harm, no foul. I have people that I know are in their 50s right now, and one dude getting ready to turn, he's late 50s, talking about how they want to get married, and man, they wish they had kids. Bro, that boat is gone. I have some friends who are trying to adopt in their 50s, and the agency like, we need to do health tests. We're going to need to see you on the treadmill. Not the treadmill, but they just need to see their health reports. They need to see a lot of stuff. And people think they always will have time to do silliness. That door will always be open, and those doors ain't always open. And if you tell people that, they cry, but you can always dream a new dream. You dig what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, I got people that are 10, almost 12 years older than me talking about maybe they can still try to adopt a kid. I'd be like, why? You sleep in half the day. Take a lot of naps. You sure about that? So that's something I would recommend. I would say in this coming years, I've been, and this is just a little bit, I've been watching a certain number of hours a day of stock information because it's gangbusters right now. Like, they're making so much money. And the 1 or 2 little trades I've done just to test some of the things Dr. Chassie has talked to me about, other people have talked to me about. Even then, when I do it, I'm like, ooh, a little nervous. Do I know what I'm doing? Right. But you have to stretch yourself. You have to understand there is money all over the ground right now. And for the next 24 to 36 months, it's going to be crazy in America. I know people right now who are wholesalers, and they were wholesalers. They've been wholesalers for years. During the pandemic, made a ton of money, and they realized the people making all the money were the builders. The people making all the money were the guys who build a couple of them to keep them for themselves. The guys who had 3 or 4 rentals, so if work was slow, they didn't care. If they couldn't do roofs in the winter, it didn't matter. They had rentals, right? But they didn't buy rentals, they built them, and that's where the equity is. So somebody who built a duplex in Houston and they got it for between the land and the building 300,000, their mortgage is significantly like $1,000 to $2,000 less than yours, and you're buying the same duplex for $500,000. That's why this weekend is so important for people that come on the October Houston Takeover Tour, because I want y'all to see up close and personal friends whose financial lives have changed. Like they're people who are working in as realtors, as mortgage people, and that is, oh, I ain't sold a house all year, but they built 3 houses, so they up almost $500,000. I don't think y'all understand the levels that are coming right now, how fast it's coming right now. Man, there's a audiobook I tell you all the time, The Power of the Unconscious Mind. I listen to it often because there's a part where he talks about this man heard there was diamonds somewhere, and he was like, I'm gonna go get those diamonds in this faraway country. And once he sold his farmland, there was diamonds all in his own property. You cannot overlook the diamonds in your own backyard. Somebody in the chat said they went into their grandpa's house. Where is that at? I'll pull it up. Somebody set it up here. I missed it. Somebody in here said they had went back to their hometown about their grandpa's house. I think that's right there. Yeah, I moved back home and I brought my grandpa's house. Yeah, and again, what people don't understand is her doing that, whatever it cost her to fix and you know what I'm saying, like replace suburb, is still worth it in comparison to the financial numbers, right? Acres of diamonds. I'm telling you, like Ant Dog is the epitome of acres of diamonds. Imagine, just a switch has changed. You move to a new city state and your income's increased. Your life has differently, drastically changed. Now he can dig for the diamonds right there in the backyard of Houston. You dig what I'm saying? I just want y'all to understand that's how that works. That's how that works. So some of these people don't tell them what's going on with you because it will do you no good. People speak evil on you. I know people who were pregnant. They don't tell nobody till they get to like 8 months. They're like, I don't want nobody putting juju on me. It's an African lady, but it just was funny when she said that though. Again, this was for earlier show, but I'm playing it now because it still applies.
Getting exposure if the high school kids can't get into college. The difference is when we played, parents ain't travel. Like, I never played in front of parents. Like, in the summer, parents went to work. Parents went to work. You got in a 15-passenger van with your coach and your team, and y'all went wherever y'all went. I'm watching 11-year-old exposure tournament. To what? Yeah. Well, ain't nobody come watch you. Don't nobody care how good 11-year-old live with their mama. Huh?
The other side making money, though.
Yeah, because them parents care, and them parents are stupid. And them parents think that, man, we see it now. If they now are recruiting 24 and 25-year-olds, what make you think that your 11-year-old getting exposure if the high school kids can't get into college? What make you think that they looking at 11-year-old?
Yeah. I mean, the high schools are about to go out and start raising money to give high schools NIL deals. That's the next thing.
But watch this. But they gonna spend the money on trying to get the kids, but they not spending nothing on the people that they putting in the seats to develop the kids, to mentor the kids, to nurture the kids, right? They think they could just go get kids. What make you think that your 11-year-old getting exposure if the high school kids can't get into college? The difference is when we played, parents ain't travel. Like, I never played in front of parents. Like, in the summer, parents went to work. Parents went to work. You got in a 15-passenger van with your coach and your team, and y'all went wherever y'all went. I'm watching 11-year-old exposure tournament. To what? Yeah. Well, ain't nobody come watch you. Don't nobody care how good 11-year-old live with their mama. Huh?
The other side making money, though.
Yeah, because them parents care, and them parents are stupid. And them parents think that, man, we see it now. If they now are
he said, even if the property's in an area little industry, yeah. Let me tell you, do you know how many people, listen, B. Williams, I done showed too many articles where people are putting houses in the middle of nowhere, making them glamping, camping houses. People are getting rural areas and putting multiple trailers on them. Trailer parks in the middle of nowhere. because people just need cheaper places to rent. Is rent going down nationwide? For sure. And there are places like Atlanta, they're going to keep it high. But in general, when you talk about people having to drive an hour outside of Atlanta, you know, the rent out there might be $800 for a 3-bedroom, $1,000 for a 3-bedroom. I remember this girl telling me she lived in Chicago, Illinois, and she was going to move to Hammond, Indiana, because they had so many houses, and Section 8 put you in a big old house. And she said when she talked to one of her friends, she was like, yeah, girl, do it. She talked to another coworker. He said, won't you just get a different job and make you some money and get off that program? And she said that changed her life. I'm not trying to dish y'all. I'm telling y'all, these people, it's going to be more layoff. You got some choices here. What's the choice? You're going to see more people do team sports, kids sports, because these parents, what he's telling you is they're gambling their future on these kids. They're gambling their future. They're praying that this kid will make some magical NIL money at 13, 14 and save them. They show you countless people, their kids turn 18, right? And all of a sudden, they kid need to pay the light bill. You've been broke all these years. You've been broke for 18 years with this child. Now the child got to pay you a light bill. Well, we teaching them how to be an adult. No. You've been broke 18 years. Go to community college and get your education now. Go get a trade now because he's 18. Y'all can go together. But people don't want to hear that part. They don't want to hear that part. A group of friends, family built freedom community outside of Macon. That's where they're going to be. Outside of Macon. We got to get our bread on these rentals and detail. I'm not overcharging though. You don't have to. You can even bring it down a little bit and still be good to go. Buy the house, y'all. Mobile parks are back. Now that right there, that's nothing to scoff at. 100 acres, lots of space. I see people can't even cut the grass on 0.26 acre. I sent a letter to somebody and they were like, oh, we just ain't cut our grass. Sir, you ought to be shaming yourself. That's a small house. I'm just trying to get it teared down. But this is what's happening. You're getting all these kids, but who's sending the coaches for training? Who's sending the coaches to get more development? That's what y'all not hearing. Who's sending these coaches to get more development? Who's developing the coaches so that they can see your son or daughter or show them things so they're not injured? That's the biggest thing. I've heard a lot of people talk about how these coaches are telling them to do exercises and then the kid's back is hurt. The neck is hurt. This is hurt. Why is that? You know what I'm saying? So people ain't ready for the real answer though. Let's play this one right here. And then I'm gonna go back. This is when your community has money. When you own 85% of New York City is what people say in the comments. It's pretty funny.
Amazing. You guys need us.
I say like I say like all of them. Why are they talking to the police like this?
Down.
Why are they talking to the police like? I say lock them up right. One of them even spit on the police.
Why? Because you came to me. I'm gonna make it a move. We're interviewing black police officer shot at the night.
Look!
This is the officer, by the way. This is the officer. This police officer the whole night has been inciting violence. This police officer the whole night has been inciting violence.
Now, I don't know if y'all saw the video, and y'all can go back and find it. In New York, the police were walking this woman away from the crowd. She was somehow got isolated. Again, if you're a woman going these things, be smart. This isn't smart. And so the police is walking her like fast, like keep walking. We gotta get out of here. The Jewish men are throwing things on her. They're spitting on her. They're throwing stuff. They hitting the cop in the head with the water bottle. He just turned around and keep on walking. Cause you know what? Someone told them, don't arrest none of them people. Don't arrest none of them people. When ICE came to New York today and went to Chinatown, what happened? They representatives came out and said, no, get out of New York. Why? Because you have so many Asian people who are overstaying visas. You have so many people, especially in California, who are Asian, who are overstaying visas. But we don't look there. We look for people who are speaking Spanish. We're not looking for Asians. And so when ICE rolled up to Chinatown, they said, oh, no, not in New York. You can't take the Asian folks. No, please. Y'all not ready for when people have money and they buy, the city council members, when they buy, then they put money on the police officer. The police officer got to come speak to them. Now you see what happened when during the debate. He says you never visited a mosque all this time. Why would Andrew Cuomo visit mosques? Who owns New York? Who owns New York? Not the mosque. Come on now. Who owns New York? The Jewish people. Why would Andrew Cuomo, an Italian, go be visiting mosques in New York? They're not moving like that. They're not moving like that. Let me keep it pushing. For y'all be like, you're just saying Jewish stuff about Jewish people. All right, let me go here. Y'all know our favorite. Again, we've talked about this in a different way. Multiple times.
Over 65 are white, wealthy, and all trying to go play golf at the same time. The stocks, the bonds, the cash, the investment funds, the houses, like to go to husbands, wives, and children. The family doesn't want the businesses. Please listen to me. There's $15 trillion of successful, profitable, cash-flowing, asset-having, existing businesses right now, and there's no succession plan.
So wait, let's have a moment for that. How many people here feel like they have to start everything from scratch? Raise your hand. I love that some of you are honest about that. I want you to start to think, what he's telling you is that sometimes you can say something that's good or has a history, and you could buy that and make it better, make it greater. You don't always have to start from scratch, right? It's like the biz buy sell type model in a sense.
I want to make it even more basic. I mean, I think that, you know, you're talking about excellence and making it better, which is great, and that's, I love that you're pushing folks. Look, in every town that you come from, there's a top plumber. Yes or no?
Yes.
Everybody knows, go to that plumber. Go to that electrician. By the way, you're not going to AI out of business a plumber or an electrician. There's a top dentist. There's a top daycare office. They got 3 offices, 6 offices. There's a top barber. They got 3 locations. Look, don't make this simple. Don't make this complicated. On your way home, drive by and look at the office buildings. All those little rooms are 6-figure and 7-figure cash flowing businesses. Go and find somebody in one of those successful businesses that is the biggest in your town. And if they're 60 years old or older, get to know them.
I co-sign up.
All right, am I losing you? Get to know them. It's about relationship capital. Build rapport. Build energy. Let them trust you. They probably don't like their children. Their spouse has made it clear they don't want the business. 70% of all successful businesses have no succession plan. Get to know that person. They might have a $7 million business that has no succession plan, has real estate, has cash flow. And in that town is a household name. Buy it. They may take a paperback, meaning seller financing, but private equity firms will fund those businesses on what's called non-recourse debt. That means no personal guarantee. So if you try to get a $25,000 loan, that's a personal guarantee. If you try to buy a $10 million business, it's non-recourse debt and possibly seller financing. Are you getting this? I'm telling you, this is huge. And you immediately roll into a business that all you do is maintain its success and then lock e-commerce on the side of that as a caboose. We have our 1MBB partnership with Shopify. We created and nurtured 450,000 black businesses since George Floyd's murder. Go to 1MBB. We will invest in you to lock in e-commerce on top of your physical infrastructure. There's $100 trillion that's about to transfer of baby boomers in the next 10 years. You've got more people over 65 than under age 18. The folks who are over 65 are white, wealthy, and all trying to go play golf at the same time. The stocks, the bonds, the cash,
Sorry, I realized the mic was off. My bad. I was saying this is absolutely right. I tried to buy 3 different businesses from older owners, and it was always people coming back and saying, "Oh no, instead of 1 million, it needs to be 3 million. Instead of 250,000, it needs to be $1 million." So their friends and family were gassing them up, and I want to tell y'all, 47% of these businesses by these boomers will just close doors because they want to sell it to you for $1 million because they're trying to mentally cash out right? I don't know if Jay Way's here because everybody's busy, but Jay Way was talking about how he's taking his business over from his parents because they're older, and that I tell people salute. Because what's going to happen is a lot of people don't realize having those business for all those years and just 1 year's tax return can turn around and let you start owning other things, right? That's the best way I can say it. If you have the paperwork right, right? If you have the paperwork right, there's a lot of people who are, um, there's nothing wrong with starting any of these service businesses from scratch. I'm gonna put it to you like this. Let's say you start a service business from scratch. You don't make that much money this first year, but you see a business for sale just because the guy's tired of it. And now you have a little bit more knowledge or you have a little bit more insight. Now you just make one of the guys at this company, if they're on their stuff, make them shift leader, make them big dog manager, let the old man retire. Right? They may be good choice. They may not be a good choice because they've been hoping to buy it from him. You might have to get an outside manager to come in. And what's happening is these businesses, as you saw, that guy I showed you, he was 6'3". That's his only claim to fame, is being 6'3", and he wants to be on YouTube making money. He wants to have his shirt off on YouTube. That's his whole goal. Let me take my shirt off on YouTube so I can look really good to ladies. And let his dad's 40-year-old business close. When that didn't require him to stop what he was doing, that just required him to pay attention to a manager and make sure the money got where it needed to be. This is the kind of people you're dealing with. Their kids don't want it, right? Their kids have been kind of spoiled. They've traveled, they lived, they've done stuff. They've enjoyed the money. They didn't enjoy how much their parents sacrificed, right? A lot of empty buildings in small towns where I'm from, many were huge businesses back then. Yeah, that's what it's going to look like in a lot of places. Because what y'all don't understand is people are expecting businesses to make $1 million out the gate. Oh, I started a business, Erica, and it didn't make that much money. Some of y'all are talking about a 10-year journey. Some of y'all may just be 2 to 5 years if you have knowledge. This is part of why I keep telling y'all I study so heavy on the financial side, because I'm like, what you think you don't know enough, right? I remember people saying, "Oh, and again, I bring this up often. They had bought Terry Egioma's course like 5 years ago. Oh, I wish I never wasted my money on that. You're talking about something from 5 years ago. You should have already made more money in your life, your adulthood, in your process. You should have attempted to try to trade. Half of them ain't traded one stock. At some point, you have to actually attempt to trade the stocks, right? But that's where people are. They're sitting here like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Actually read the information, absorb it daily. And there's some people that's in them groups that can tell you day in and out about stocks, but ain't traded no stocks. They need that confidence class that I listed in the in the notes. I'm for real. They need confidence. They don't believe in themselves. And so it's real crazy out here. Definitely my plan. I want to buy an existing auto shop and reopen it. Man, there's a corner over here. It's valuable real estate. It's valuable real estate in this town. And there's a bunch of shops over there, but it just looks like a mess over there all the time. If they ever sell that building or they sell some of the back buildings, I'd buy them. And my first thing would just be to tow all them cars. Like, tow all this mess from over here. You can't even get people to want to come over here. It's a mess. It's the small stuff that gets people caught up. It's small things that change whether a business does 150,000, profit or $500,000 in profit, right? And it's usually the business owner that's the bottleneck. But people ain't ready for that conversation. They're not ready for it. And that's okay. That's all right. This is a Budget Dog again. Y'all go check him out. He's like, I've read every classic finance book. Most are outdated. Some are dangerous. A few are life-changing. Some of these I recommend. When people ask me, what kind of books? These are some of the ones I recommend. They do a good job. Think and Grow Rich. This is again a mindset thing. People hate hearing about mindset. That drives them crazy when I tell them you should read this or you should work on your mindset. Erica, bump you talking about mindset. Tell me how to get to the money. And 9 times out of 10, I'm like, it's your mindset, right? Some of these people, y'all have credit cards, y'all have family, y'all have a good situation, you have reserves, but you're scared. And that's okay. There's a lot of money in teaching people mindset. There are people who made millions off teaching people manifestation, and now they hate hearing about the word manifestation. If y'all could see how some of these people have made money on different channels, multiple channels, and they keep it moving. Let me see if I can find that video. Let me see if I can find that move. Okay. Yeah, here it is. Let me pull this up. Let me finish this though before I pull the other one up. All right. Again, let's keep it moving. Psychology of Money. I like that one. It talks about why lottery winners go broke and janitors die millionaires. It's just consistency. It's like, how do you behave? This is why when people tell me they're going to run the streets and chase hookers overseas and act crazy, then they're just going to go find a wife and sit down. No, you're not. You're building up habits in your late 30s and 40s and 50s that are hard to break. This is why, the rule of thumb is when people have a heart attack, they usually don't have another one. They're usually like change their life 80% around, because the truth is they realize, oh God, I shouldn't eat a burger every week, every other day. I should walk. I should drink some water. This lady was saying, you'd be surprised how many young men have kidney problems, and they ask them how much water they drink a day, and water tastes nasty. And these are grown men. Water don't taste good. And she's like, they work with people's kidneys. And she's like, they'll just drink Gatorade and Powerade all the time. Well, I tell you, it's mindset. Mindset does a doozy on you. You're a badass at making money. Everybody said this book was great. I'm gonna leave that out of here. But the best part of the thing was, your thoughts shape your financial reality. And this is so true. You'll meet people who, I ain't never met a black person doing that. I ain't never met a black person doing this. I ain't never met a black person hiking. What? Never? Where you been? Where you been? I ain't never met a black person do it. You haven't? Man, you need to get on out of here some more. All right? It's real crazy. It's real crazy when people say stuff like that to me. You can't just update your mental for cash. When you update your mind, it's a lifelong mission for sure. And the same thing with these women. Like, I'm gonna buy a bunch of dresses, and I'm gonna act real feminine. I'm gonna do my nails and hair and do all this stuff that costs money. You know how to get a rich man? Be a rich woman. No, Erica, no. People will literally, there's many people literally saying that. There's like basketball players' wives and stockbrokers' wives saying, when people ask how do they meet their husband, they're like, I met him in business school. I met him at an investment banking club. I met him at a apartment syndication. Like, these people are telling you they were a woman or from a family with money. That's how they met their rich partner. The girl that does the show that I was picking on, The Financial Diet, she is from a rich family. My mother was a school teacher. My mother was a school teacher. She leaves out the part that her father was a banker for over 40 years. My mother. Your mother and father were married. Why do you keep telling this story like my mother was a school teacher? She sounded like Kamala. I come from humble background. Like Kamala. Your mom was in like Silicon Valley. What are you talking about? Your sister works with financial nonprofits. Like, you guys are epitome of people who go get into these spaces. What are you talking about? I come from humble. You know what I'm saying? Even Obama, when Obama was like, oh, I was raised by my grandparents. Let's not leave out the fact the grandparents owned land, investments, property, bonds, stocks, could travel back and forth to Hawaii. People from Kansas. Well, they moved to Hawaii, but we can go a million ways into this conversation about Obama. But I just don't think y'all understand what people are saying. These things cost money. Being like this costs money. Taking care of yourself. I'm telling you, I would sit in rooms and women would be like, oh, who does your massages? Who does this for you? Who's your personal trainer? Right? They keep skipping. Like, you're doing the math. Who's your house cleaner? Do you know how many men be like, yeah, these women aren't domesticated? Do you understand, once you get into some of these levels, the diet of it was showing a study about the diet of poor women is sometimes better than wealthier women, because wealthier women eat out more. They're eating more processed food because they're at an office. And poor Sally just gonna make the chicken and dumplings at the house. Poor Rebecca is just going to put that chicken in the oven with some sprinkles on it, with a little bit of seasoning. You know, Miss Ruthie gonna make the chicken at home for the kids. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all not ready for these conversations. But you can't just update your mental or your look with some money. Okay. Can't do that. It's a lifelong mission. Uh-oh, not the sprinkle. Girl, come on. It costs money. They literally say they go to school to get their misses. Like, what don't they get? Shannon is the old doing club with starched jeans. Damn. You know, again, married Bushes. Yeah, like, again, one of the Bush grandsons is Latino. And they tried to run him in Dallas. They were like, nah, he ain't our kind of Latino. You know what I'm saying? They left Mexico from those kind of people. Manifestation leads to original spiritual system, original person of the planet. I can't. I'm gonna let you say that. I'm gonna just let it go. Even Shannon Sharp at night, he's good. No, he's not. He's not, because he's built up a. If you can go into different gyms all over the United States and just pull ladies, let me stop, and pay for ladies. You're not. I remember a rapper who didn't drink water for 5 years. Like, how? Man, you know what I'm saying? It's like they pee in battery acid. They pee in battery acid. It's crazy out here. That's why the people, like, one of the guys I buy the juices from here in town, he was 300 pounds. And then it was just like, he wanted to own this juice bar, right? And he was like, yeah, they make a lot of money. He lost 150 pounds, y'all. Well, no, he said he lost 100. At first he lost 150, then he came back to some more money, but came back off the weight because, you know, he had to balance it out. But what's happening is a lot of people are, they know, well, that would be good for me to do, but I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Donald. I mean, I hate to do it, but I'm gonna read it. I brought Terry's course and used to go meetups in Durham, North Carolina. Y'all, what's up? I can confirm with absolute certainty that I was the only person in that room that wasn't paper trading. That course was $5,000, by the way. I really want y'all to understand that not only that, Terry's course was a cheaper version where a lot of white creators were making people pay 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand. Right? I was in a group that we were paying 12,000 for software to trade for you. I said, "No, I'm good on that software." Years later, I've come back. That software is, I can get in this other man's software for $299 for the same software. And so what happens is people are so afraid, Donald. They're telling you everything they need to do to trade money and trade stocks, and they're paper trading. They refuse to put $10 into the stock market. But they spent $5,000 on a course. This is why I keep telling y'all, when you see all these people getting cut from middle management, they're terrified to own a business, but they'll be perfect managers for you. Why? They gonna literally let me be careful. They're gonna manage all your stuff for you. Very well. Very, very well. Very, very well. That's the best way I can say it for you, because that's all they got. That's as high as they want to go. I told you I have a friend who's 50 now, and he's got multiple young kids because he got a wife that's 10 years older. And he was like, I just want to be a manager. And finally they made him a manager over 2 people, and he's the happiest I ever seen. I'm like, are you happy about your kids? Oh yeah, they're good. But if you ask him about his job, oh my God, I'm a manager now. People live for that, y'all. People live for that. That's why when you interview people, you got to know, like, what's your dream? Oh, I really want to make sure this company runs correctly and blah, blah, blah. It's out there. That's sad, Donald, but I'm telling you, I've heard that in so many spaces. I know people who spent $50,000 on Lifestyle Unlimited, never did anything with it. I had a friend who borrowed $30,000 from his parents, took $20,000 out of his savings account, getting out of the military, paid Lifestyles Unlimited, and he was wholesaling. I said, wait a minute, what did you pay to learn? Wholesaling? Like, eventually he finally said the word wholesale. I was like, you could have learned wholesaling from a black dude named Trey for $500. You done paid these people $50,000. Are you crazy? And so he had to make it work. Now, yes, did he make $1 million out of the deal after 2-3 years? He did. Right. But that's just how crazy that is. Financial diet wears me out when she always tells people how she hated rich people at the country club she worked at. Sis, you don't get access living in the trailer park. Exactly. She was working at a country club. Do you know how they like film through the students of which students they want to get to even work at the country club? Come on, she got to come off it. She wears me out. I don't think I think they were doing meetups. I'm not certain. I've been buying old coins, silver and gold. Yeah. No way I want to be a manager. People, you think I'm joking. There are people who that's their goal is to be a manager. Someone said, no, we were a group of people on Facebook that did sessions on our own. Yeah, and that's what you're supposed to do. It's all community stuff. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's how crazy it is. Let me go on. Let me wrap this up. Millionaire Next Door. I've recommended this book. But I want y'all to understand, like, some of those tropes are over the top, but it's true. It's not about make what you make, but what you keep. The reason you see so many the millionaire next door dressing a certain way. Now, these people may dress a certain way. They may drive a Ford pickup, but guess what? They got a lake house, they got a beach house, and they traveling way more than you think. It's because they pull themselves out of it. I'm telling y'all, when I delivered pizzas on a multi-million-dollar golf course and in the hood across the way, the highway, in the hood, you had Mercedes, Range Rovers, old stuff that, you know what I'm saying? The old BMW that was like 5 years old, right? But they had it. And they'd be the cheapest tippers, right? I'd go across to the multi-million-dollar golf course. And when I first came to Austin, those houses were 800,000. Now those same houses are 3 million. So do with that what you will. And in the yard would be an old Toyota, an old Lexus, the box size, the square old Lexus. And the kids I'd come to the door to be a kid. He'd be like, here's $12. Have a good day, ma'am. And he'd order one pizza. I'd come to the door, be older ladies. They just open the door. Come on in, honey. Come on in. And you'd be like, ma'am, you letting anybody in your house? Yeah, just put it on the table. Put it on the table for the kids. There was this one lady had a ADU on the side of her house. Her husband was having Bible study over there. And she was like, well, can you just take it over there? And I was like, sure, I can just take it over there. She was like, no, don't disturb the men in their Bible study. I'll take it over there. I want to say, ma'am, it's pizza. I ain't looking at none of them men in there. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's like real ridiculous. Risk is super high right now. Yes. I would say miscommunication and mistrust. Like it's a massive mistrust issue going on here. And lack of confidence is what I'm seeing out here. Being a manager almost killed me dealing with grown children that need therapy and remedial reading and math. The money has to be worth. Do you understand? Like, I remember this girl saying she sent out emails and people would get all mad. I've watched my nephew's soccer group. They had a chat. And the coach said Wednesdays are these 2 days and the games are on these days. Well, why didn't you post this last week? Because it's pinned to the top, ma'am. It's at the beginning when you sign up. We told you what days it was. You have parents who don't show up for half the games and then be like, oh, my kid didn't play. Well, he ain't showed up for no practices. He ain't running up and down the field. He got bad cardio. What do you want them to do? All right. Okay. Thanks for sharing, I guess. Today I'm on burgers. Tomorrow I'll be on fries. Coming to America. Listen, not even that. The machine got that. She had to take that pizza. Yeah. So, this is what you're seeing out here. So anyway, let me keep going. Secrets of the Millionaire Mouth. I like TR. I like his voice. He's way older now and he sounds old. I feel so bad for him. But he's even licensing some of his stuff to this young black guy and this white guy who are doing basically rehashing his talking points. But it works because of his age, right? Take your age. This is kind of the formula, but take your age, multiply it by your income. Divide by 10. That is what your net worth should be minimum. If not, you need a better strategy. If you want to change the fruits, you will first have to change the roots. Okay, take your age. Let's do it again. Take your age and multiply by your income. Now divide it by 10. That's what your network should be. Okay, so some of y'all do that as an example for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you should know what you got there. So put that with yourself. Let me keep going. The Richest Man in Babylon. Y'all have heard that a million times. Pay yourself first. The Secret to get out of here with that. I don't like that one. Everybody's like Tony Robbins. No. Talks a lot about automation. But anyway. And of course, Roadmap to Freedom. Of course, this is his book, but again, how he removed 76K of debt in a year. And what happens is a lot of people say, "Oh, I got all the student loan debt," and if they just focused on a part-time job or did something for a year or 2 years, they'd have paid most of it off. So that's on that one. Did I have another one? Oh, I was gonna okay, here it is. This one here is Anton Daniels, and he was basically saying, "Don't nobody say nothing to me." This guy made $35 million as a content creator. Now, Anton also did a couple other ones where this girl had made 150,000. And I want y'all to understand, like, this is when people start talking crazy to me, I just laugh. I mean, do you know there's people on this app who are like, "You're still trying to make it as a YouTuber"? I'm like, no, I already made millions off YouTube. Now I'm just on the second brush. I'm on the second run up. That's all it is. It's like, once you do something and it's unique, it's on the front cover, you're the first to the game. Again, this past week, again, I talked to y'all about offline reality and people being online thinking they're super famous online. And there's no disrespect. That don't work. That don't work. Like all this online stuff. Again, this will be the way most people will make their first $100,000 to $300,000 a year through content. This will be the first time in their whole adult life. Now, what you do with those investments matter. If you were already trading stocks and you're showing people that, great, you're gonna make more money. If you were real estate related, you're gonna make more money. But this is a business model. This is a whole business model in itself. When people try to talk smack about it, people laugh in your face. I just giggle because I be thinking to myself, like, if you know the I hate to say idiots or anything like that, but if you knew the people that were making 200,000 a year plus off YouTube, you would change your tone. You would change your tone. You change your tone. So these people want everything without even putting effort of a tenth. Yeah, that's how it is. Let me see if I can't remember which part.
I think this is Penguin. Same.
I see people debate a lot what's better to stream on YouTube or Twitch, and it's a question I get asked a lot because I'm like Constantine, the man who walks between worlds here, because I stream on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. I multi-stream.
I can't. His voice. I can't. Long story short, he made 35 million. And the funniest part in the video is when he showed how much money he made, and Anton just got. See if I can find it. This is the best part. Yeah, this is the best part of the video right here. Hold on. Hold on. Let me go back a little bit.
Of money. From starting this.
Again, this is his YouTube analytics. YouTube gets mad at you for showing this, but YouTube has its analytics. It has its favorites in the algorithm. I keep telling y'all that. He made 35 million with his Google AdSense, y'all. 35 million. And people like, "Oh, you on YouTube." I'll be just laughing. I'll be like, do you understand? Do you understand like that this is a business? That some of these people, they're making 300,000 a year. Their family only putting up with them being on YouTube because they make so much money. There are 2 white girls that have made, and I'll show their page. They made $4 million in 4 years. And I was looking at them, I'm like, what? And they would do live trainings in Georgia. They would do a lot of online stuff, but they do live trainings in Georgia. They went over to Myron Golden. He throwing them at, I'm just trying to get y'all to understand what's happening out here. I'm looking at a school group for cooking classes and low toxic living. Should I start the journey by building an audience on YouTube and Instagram? I'd say Instagram. Only reason I say Instagram, if you like talking, you like going over stuff, YouTube is the long form content king. But if you just want to show pictures and, hey, just join me over here. Hey, join me at school. Hey, join me at school. They'll do it. Hey, grab my ebook for free and join me at school. They'll do it. You already know that. This is what I'm telling you, 35 million from AdSense. That's not even including sponsors. This is why, and when people look down on it, people look down on the silly stuff, right? They look down on the silly stuff of internet. But if you, and to me, what he does is, streaming games is goof to me. But there are people I religiously watch who talk about Game of Thrones, who do dissertations. I remember this girl had like 1 million views on multiple videos. And when Game of Thrones went away, I felt bad for her. I said, I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know what she's gonna do with her life. And then they came out with the new but she's Hannah. You know what I'm saying? The newest dragon stuff. She's on that now. She's on other stuff. This is money out here. I think y'all think of people joking, but I'm telling you, there's consultants for the first time in their life making boohoo money. There you go.
Channel in 2007 all the way until today, I have made $35.8 million.
Oh man. Let me tell you something, y'all. This Anton got up from the like what? 35 million. And I tell y'all, YouTube has its favorites, but they also throw crumbs to everybody else. You want to play the game? How do most people play the game? Talking bad about black people.
Don't ever say nothing to me ever again. Don't ever try to pocket watch me or say it.
Okay. Now, I ain't starting no beefs. Let me get out of there. I just want y'all to see that. I just want y'all to understand like the magnitude. The magnitude. Yes. Look, you must be watching the old part of the show. Yes. Yes, 50,000. House of the Dragon. Thank you so much. It was on tip of my tongue. I couldn't think of it. Listen, he could afford a shower, but no, he looks greasy every time I see him on camera. I hate his voice. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, do you know many we get about 10 a day. Hey, would you like to promote this? Would you like to promote that? There's stuff I do be wanting to promote. I'll be like, yeah, give me that. Send it to me. But yeah, it's a whole I'm gonna step out of there because there's something I can say, but I'm gonna stop. Again, Xavier, the play I've been showing y'all over and over again. I showed y'all with the white dude in the tech videos that I showed earlier videos. This is Xavier from Dallas, Texas. He know what time it is. Okay, look at his thing. Resume review, book a consultation, latest on Substack, latest on Patreon. This is a whole business model. Y'all not ready for this. How to get rich in 30 days. Again, this is a journal. He talks about clothes, talks about college apps, right? Careers, right? Come work with him. All right. Again, for professionals, for students, 30-minute consultation, resume review, career coaching, join the newsletter. This is a whole business model. This is a whole business model. And that's why he was able to quit that job. I'll play it again. Let me see if I find it. Let me see. I think it's this one. I think it's this one. Nope. Lord Jesus. It's one of these. Okay, here it is. Okay. Now you're gonna say, Erica, everybody can't quit their dream job. Everybody can't do that. Did it show y'all? Did y'all get to hear it? Oh no. Oh no. Y'all couldn't hear it. Oh no. Here we go. I'll play it again.
I quit my dream job at the peak of my career to create my dream job. And I told my girlfriend to quit the job she hated and create her own job too. We've been traveling nonstop ever since and walking pretty much in complete darkness, just waiting for the path to show up. I've had the same job since college, was a high performer, just got a huge promotion. Like I said, I left at the peak of my career, but I was working 50 to 60 hours a week in a really high stress environment that I loved, but it became my whole life and took all of my energy away from other things I wanted to pursue. Freedom comes with the very high cost of uncertainty, but there's a certain kind of confidence that comes from making something out of nothing on your own. That's what I want. We've traveled to around 20 different cities across 4 countries on a whim in the past 6 months, and I am very type A, so I'm not used to flying by the seat of my pants by any means. But the fact of the matter is, you either make the life that you want or you settle for the life that happens. I've never really been one to settle, so I'm gonna get exactly what I want the way I want it without compromise, because I've decided that I can have that life. And all it takes is deciding and then moving accordingly. So that's what I'm gonna do. I quit my...
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. Even if he made 185,000 in New York City, maybe 200,000 bonuses on target, whatever. Him with the types of content he makes, him consulting reviews, career reviews, recruiters. I know recruiters who make $1 million a year, and it's just them and one other person on their staff that does all the follow up. Because I was like, oh, let me do recruiting with the Breaking Into Tech group, and I was just starting to being like, did I want to be bothered with all these people in follow up? I really didn't. But there is a healthy 20-30% of America that's going to go into this section and be successful, because they're going to get down the path like me and other people. And most of the people you meet, they're like, get you a house, even if it's a small one, and then get you 1 or 2 rentals or something that makes consistent money. And then whatever else you want to do on the content side, that's fine. That's where a lot of these people are. That's what they tell you. Huh? Hold on a second, you got John's grabbing it. And if you go here, this was the video where he was talking. Let me go back.
First thing I want to say this morning is I agree with Nick from Revenge.
Oh, why is it doing that? One more time.
Learn how to be better than everybody else. And people feel very uncomfortable with this concept of one person being better than the other, but then they watch sports all day. And they can recognize that one team is better than another team, one athlete is better than another athlete. You can look at, 2 different speakers and you hear them speak and you say, yeah, this person was a better speaker and that person was a better speaker. In everything, there is a hierarchy. There is always going to be somebody better. And the same thing applies with people. You are never going to equate me to somebody who is trashed off the side of the street. We're not the same. That's a fact. But
you can go watch his channel for your own, because I'm finishing this up. But I just want you to understand, like, that's a whole lane in itself. A lot of people think wholesaling. Where's the other thing I was going to show you? I'm going to close it out because it's late and I got to fly at like 5 a.m. I hate morning flights. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. Here we go. This is the last one. Let me make it like theater mode. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully y'all can see this well enough. But the first stage 1 is hustler. Stage 2 is operator. Stage 3 is architect. What happens is a lot of people get on the phone and they want to do all the calls, all the everything. And they become their own bottleneck. Eventually they realize, okay, well, I could put a VA over it. I could put an assistant somewhere in this equation and it would help me stretch the business or make X amount extra money. Now, it doesn't apply for every type of business ideal. There are several videos I've shared on the community wall where the guy was like, oh, I got employees and I realized I need to make 3x the money, right? Because they're trying to make double the money. So they're working themselves to the bone. Well, then they get a few employees and realize, okay, I got to pay these employees and make extra money. So then they got to really make 3x the money. So a lot of times there's enough people right now online showing you the blueprint that you cannot sit here in my face and be like, Eric, I just didn't know anything. You didn't look on your phone. You didn't Google on YouTube. You didn't go anywhere. No, I just lost all this money in business. Okay. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. But part of why I'm encouraging people to come out this Saturday is like-minded people. You want to be able to have conversations, whether it's text, Instagram conversations with people who are like-minded. Every Classic Climb event I've had, people partner with each other. They go build stuff. They go buy rentals. They go do all kind of stuff together. And that's what I try to promote and create with these events and with this commentary. So this is the last thing, and we're going to close it out here. This is Richard. He's very popular because he's Latino and left the country. And he's talking about how the wealthy already left. You know what I'm saying? They pull all their equity at the top of the market. They trade their cash for gold. They move everything out of the banks. They're doing a lot of moving things around. Is the best what he's really trying to say. And it's the truth. A lot of digital ID is already happening in multiple countries. I think I shared that video, or I didn't share that video today. I did not share that video. My bad. And oh my God, before they crash the dollar. This is something you'll hear every couple of years. They're crashing the dollar. The housing markets crash, yada, yada, yada. And it's just not spot on. And this is the last thing. And again, you can see this right here. Nepal banned social media. Too late. Nepal done burned up his parliament, got them people out of there, and got new people in there. Okay. I don't know if y'all saw that, but Costa Rica, y'all favorite place, Saudi Arabia, India's 1.3 billion in India's digital system, Taiwan's travel rules, Vietnam deleted 86 bank accounts, no ID, UK's rolling out digital ID in April, 164 countries out of 210 to claim it. It's only a matter of time. Will you comply? If you go read again, one more time, China already has social credit system. Right? You already know. I'm not going to read that because you already know. All right? And you're like, Erica, why are you sharing that? I just want you to understand. This is what's happening. Every border. And people are like, why are you trying to go? Costa Rica launched this national digital ID, no card, no services. Who's been going overwhelmingly to Costa Rica? Even though Costa Rica been a play for 20 years. People like me and you. That's who's been going to Costa Rica. And so they're going to get down there and realize, but I'm in Costa Rica. And if you don't have that digital card, you're not going to be able to birth that baby here. You're not going to be able to own that house. You want to get ahead of things like this. And how do you get ahead? Ownership. The more people own their property, more people own skin in the game, aka business or assets. Who pushes back against taxes being raised in a city? Homeowners. Who pushes back against taxes being raised on businesses? Business owners. Look, do it with this what you will. You guys have a great day. There are going to be more layoffs. Take your buyout, pay off your bad debt, invest in some things that are going to pay you, and you guys have a great night.
You've probably been seeing these commercials for Middleman to Millions course. What is Middleman to Millions? We're teaching so many people how to have service businesses. The upcoming year, one of the fastest growing businesses you will see are service businesses and digital businesses. Why is that? Because so many things need repairs, need maintenance. And guess what? We have a shortage of men and also women who could do things. Listen, I'm not the best with a hammer, but I know I can gather a crew of people to get things done. And that's what I've done with 2 of my service businesses. And that's what I'll be teaching if you check us out in the Middleman to Millions course. And look forward to us on the road with Digital Liberty Tour 2024. It's Erica Williams.